it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast.
Hello and welcome everybody to the greatest podcast, or should I say bowling podcast, in North America and overseas. This is...
Good evening and welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, whatever that guy was, Anthony Scaccia.
It's great to be here tonight.
What's up, Deke? How's it going tonight?
I don't understand why you had to ruin my...
Because it was horrible. Whatever that was horrible. What's up?
Quite the claim.
I thought it was pretty good. What do you think?
The greatest bowling podcast. I think that's true.
In the NA and overseas.
Yeah, I agree.
North
Austin, how are you tonight?
America.
I'm good. Just getting over a little cold my father gave me. So
Nice.
looking for a good night on the lanes.
Tonight, we're going to be teeing up, if you will, the U.S. Open, which will be starting in just a few days.
We're going to be teeing that up. Is that
Yep.
what you said?
That's what I said. Literally the words that I just spoke.
It's not golf, Kyle.
So we're going to talk about the U.S. Open, maybe discuss who our top players we think that will be
Playing bowling
that's
at
right,
the U.S. Open.
coming out on top. We're going to talk about the opinion piece that I came out with this week.
It's a bad opinion.
Not a piece, but video. And then we've been doing some OC practicing this week. This past week or two, I've drilled a couple of bowling balls. I think we've talked about it last week, but now that I've got some time on the lanes with them.
Whalers are tomorrow night.
That's right. We're bowling in some tournaments this week. So we got some stuff to talk about. That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Don't forget to head to our Etsy shop and check out our new shirt and all of our other apparel that are there. And you can always catch us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, all of those places.
All the socials.
If you can't watch on YouTube or Facebook or X, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service like Apple iTunes or podcast, whatever it is, and all of the other places like Spotify. And you can always email us at downloadpod@gmail.com. So,
Is your mouth dry yet?
no, I'm liquefied. Before we get into our topics at hand, how were your guys' weeks this week?
I didn't bowl once.
I lofted the ball on a house shot.
Where?
Sportsman's.
Oh, they're a little toasty, were they?
If you moved in, it hooked at 30 feet. If you went right, it hooked at 30 feet. If you lofted the ball, it hooked at 40 feet. I did the math.
Well, what they say is the ball cannot hook in the air. Am I right? So when I loft the ball, I loft it an extra 8 inches. So that's all I get out of my loft.
That's
so
what she said.
yeah, there you go. So, well, you bowled Thursday.
Nope, because today's Thursday.
Well, a week ago.
Yeah.
After the show, you bowled.
Yeah.
And you shot like 1,000 or something, right?
Shot 1,001 on the diddly dot. Square. Bingo bango. Touchdown Jesus. Clean pot. 1,001 with a 210 the first game. Pretty sexual.
Wow. Look at you go.
Well, I was working on a few things, and maybe they worked. I don't know. We're gonna try them tonight. Haven't bowled since last Thursday. I gotta get ready for tomorrow when the Whalers take on the World.
Town team tournament. Tournament?
We got a bowl tomorrow at 9:30,
9:30 at night.
which is gonna be 10:30.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to start on time. No chance. No chance.
It's exciting to get back on the lanes today.
2 lefties on our team.
I'm going to be working on the same thing I worked on last week, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be like a practice session. Also got new set of shoesies because my other one's broke.
You know what I just realized?
So
our team is going to be comprised of 2 doubles victors.
Kyle, first of all, you always talk down about my double victory.
Well, I'm just saying. It just occurred to me.
I don't even want.
It just occurred to me.
I don't even want to associate
the 2 lefties victors and the 2 righties
3
3-time champions
Yes.
will be on the same team. First time ever.
How do you feel?
Oh, my God. We should be asking how everyone else feels about us being on their
It
squad.
is probably a little intimidating for everybody to see when we walk in the door. Luckily enough, the righties have a good track record of shooting 160 over there the first game and then, bowling pretty good after that. So hopefully us lefties can hold you guys up. That's just normal. Kyle is laughing.
Yeah, Anita definitely made
made it funny.
made it funny.
So, Anita, I won't be here tomorrow night. Completely forgot to tell you. So no lessons tomorrow, Anita. You can come hang out if you want when I'm not here. That's fine too. But yeah, so I didn't bowl this week. Pretty fantastical.
So yeah, you should definitely catch the latest episode of Tonight We Bowl because there was a bunch of funny moments. Austin did a nice job on that episode. Mayor Mike made an appearance on the episode.
That makes a really good point. We bowled full games when we won. You guys do. You perfected one lane 3 times. That is a really good point.
No, we bowled like I don't know how many games did we bowl in that tournament.
You got me. I don't know. I
don't remember either.
All I know is it takes forever in a day.
Whatever. Stop your whining. We've done it 3 times. Oh, 3 times. I get it. 3 years in a row. Yeah. Stop your whining,
That
Matt.
is true. He is correct. I mean, you guys typically good. You mastered one lane. Congratulations.
Whatever.
Is your brain like you can only work on one lane at a time?
We take what we can get. Keep bringing your wives to that tournament so we can beat up on everyone.
It's your freaking bowl money for the year.
Not even close. Where's Nick to defend me? Nick, where are you?
He's
anyway
probably on CBD.
Yeah.
Bills.
So we got that coming up this weekend, and then I get to bowl with Artie Hoffman's group. He and Austin's bowling in that group too. So we bowling
second year in a row,
2 times at the town team town. I can't say it. It's too many T's.
Town team tournament.
Thank you, triple T.
I make one appearance, maybe 2, but one's gonna be it.
Yeah. And then doubles. How's doubles shaping up here at the TNC?
Well, doubles right now is looking really good. We've got 155 teams for 2 weeks, which equates to 310 teams for the total tournament for 4 weeks. I got 2 more weekends to go. This weekend and next weekend. February 4th is the last 2 days. Currently, 1443 is going to be our leaders right now. LeClaire boys ended up shooting 300 for the 3rd or 4th year in a row at this tournament. LeClaire shot 300 each year at this tournament, and they did it together this time. So they did it with other people, and then this year they did it together. And they actually were minus 10 going into game 3 and went 280, 300, which propelled them into a fairly good lead. Then they went like 240, 220, something around that. So they didn't exactly whack them the first 2. If they did, they'd probably have easy 1500, but 1443 is it. And that's pretty low for the lead, I think, out of 155 teams. And second place is a tie, I believe, at 1417. 1417, 1419. So scores are a little lower than I anticipated, but it is nice to see the scores not be astronomical because anybody can walk in here and I think get to 1440 with handicap or scratch. I think both sides of the table have a really nice look this year. So we'll see what happens, but we are trending at 130 or 300 teams for 4 weekends. So it's 3 squads a weekend too. So it's not like it's.
Go ahead, Austin.
I gotta say, I don't know if you even noticed. I'm gonna put Daniel's comment back up here.
Oh yeah.
Do you see what his profile picture is?
I didn't even not see that. That's my niece watching us on the podcast.
And that is from tonight.
That's super fast.
You work quickly, Daniel.
Thank you.
That's, very quickly.
Yeah,
very
good.
If Bobby's on the other end.
He probably is.
What up, Bobby?
So I think we brought it up last week, but it was very surprising the low score numbers considering the pattern choice being a near recreational pattern. Not it's still a challenge pattern, obviously, but on the higher end of challenge, with the scores being what I would consider to be kind of low. for that type of a pattern. They're being tricky for sure.
Yeah, well, I believe that the lower amount of volume on the reverse, we'll call it the reverse oiling portion of the pattern is because there's not a lot there. The lane transitions quite a bit, and I think because I give everybody practice in the beginning and then 2 games on that pair, they definitely can transition in that time for everybody to kind of create what they want. And typically what we're seeing, which the Leclerc's actually did it backwards, is the first 2 games have been relatively fairly high scoring, and then games 3 and 4, because you don't move pairs until you pull 2 games on the same pair, then you move. So the first 2 games you kind of create what you're looking for, or you can kind of keep up with it. But when you go to the next pair, the lanes are completely different just because of the pure fact that there's a bunch of people there, and it's going to be changed for how they're bowling. So
Right.
It makes it a little tricky. People have to maneuver games 3 and 4 a little bit. It's a little more tricky to maneuver the breakdown or the transition. And it just so happened that they started bad, which was funny enough because everybody's bowling fairly well in the fresh. They didn't bowl the greatest, and then they whacked them games 3 and 4, which are typically where I'm seeing the downfall for most teams. They have a pretty low game or 2 mediocre games in there. And they had the complete opposite. They started low, really whacked them in the transition. And I'm going to say they bowled really well in the last set of lanes, the third set of lanes. They bowled really well too. They could have had probably a little more, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. But this year, I will say, because I did change the handicap rule, it is a little bit higher this year. We're seeing some more handicap teams kind of be closer to the top or just be more competitive in general, which is really nice to see. We had a few teams and a few guys here tonight who bowled it, and they're getting 50, 60 pins a game because they're just the average Joe, and they bowl once a week, and they're actually competing on it. They're getting enough pins, and they're actually bowling pretty well too. So it's nice to see that there is a pretty good mixture this year, and it's not just heavy loaded with the scratch guys, because that means that it's a little bit more open to all players.
Well, I will say Daryl and I were very consistent across all 6 games.
You managed it perfectly, but they just were not high enough.
Yeah, we didn't have very high games. Maybe we had some low games, but yeah, it was not very good for either of us. We struggled a little bit, but it is what it is. Nick and I will come and mash them next weekend. Looked like you had something to say, Austin.
Yeah, I just I've bowled many of the squads so far, and I have noticed a trend of the upper echelon bowlers starting a little deeper than I think they should. And
Daryl and I tried to play right, and for whatever reason, just we couldn't. Maybe we were both using the wrong equipment, but
I don't necessarily think you want to be right.
Well, I just mean straighter. I don't mean like up the gutter. I just mean
I think you want to
try to be straighter,
because a lot of the misses I'm seeing is in, and it's flying off the back. And I changed my approach a little bit. I'm starting a little straighter. I have misroom in, opposed to I look around and some of the other guys don't have that misroom in.
Yeah, I like I said, we were playing right at 15, not up the gutter. I'm just saying straighter than trying to hook it or swing it, I should say. And again, maybe we were just using the wrong stuff, but we just couldn't string it. If he was striking, I wasn't. If I was striking, he wasn't. It was just
that's the other hard part.
Mix.
That's the other hard part about that event is that you don't get a full game. So if you get 3 shots in, I mean, you're not striking. Your partner is. The game's, you're in frame 7 already. Yeah. You get 2 more shots. You can still weasel out a good game, but you've got to strike, and then they've also got to strike. So it's not like you lose a lane and you've got the other lane. No, you finally got that lane. Now you're hoping that your partner doesn't lose the lane.
Right.
The other big thing is those single pin misses. Those are killers.
A lot of people are
missing
missing
the
some
bakers
stuff
because you're not the one controlling the game. So if you say you leave a 10 pin and you whiff it, and your partner goes big 4 the next shot.
Yep.
You're down a lot of pins in 2 frames.
Yeah.
Or you go, or they go strike and then you go 9 miss, and then they go strike and then you go strike. It's big 30 to miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's definitely, the pattern is definitely a little trickier than anticipated. But because of the format too, it keeps the scores a little lower because you're not fully in a rhythm. The only thing that I've gotten some I don't want to say some complaints, but some suggestions is not having 5 on a pair. Unfortunately, I started with 5 on a pair the first squad, so I will only run 4s and 5s. I will not run 3s.
You got to keep it pretty fair
I
across
have
the
to
whole
keep
tournament.
I have to keep it fair across the event. So unfortunately, I do have some of that going on. So I'm going to try and keep it 4s the rest of the way, because 5s, believe it or not, I'm kind of surprised that one more team makes it that much longer.
Yeah. It'll slow everybody right down.
Yeah, but it's one more, like one guy, like what do you like? To me, it's like one guy shouldn't make that much. Like, okay, 2 frames behind, fine.
Yeah.
But we're getting guys who are like
Half a game.
6 frames behind. And I'm like, are you bowling? Are you, I understand that some people aren't throwing strikes, but Jesus, like,
Yeah.
a full half a game is so far. So I'm going to try and run 4s the rest of the way and just really pay attention to it. But we'll see.
You just have to start finding people, for delay a game.
Michael, Jeremy, what's going on tonight?
What's up, boys?
Yeah, I'm not going to find people. But yeah, we're at 155 teams, like I said, for 2 weeks. So 310 would be the number if we had the same amount for the second half. We've got a pretty stacked Sunday already. It's fairly large. The first shift, the second shift, I'll probably get the same amount of teams. The squad on Sunday, I don't want to say is looking weak or bleak, but it's just a little bit lighter than I would anticipate. But I should run.
You always get last minute.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes
not
it so
walk-ins
hard.
necessarily, but
Well,
like, hey, I'm coming in tomorrow.
Yeah. So I get guys who text me that 30 minutes before they show up. And then the thing that's hard too is when you're getting everybody together. I think I was talking to Austin, your dad, the other day. On Sunday, you'll have 30 teams in the morning, and I had like 20 teams signed up for the second shift. Well, the thing with that is, like, if you bowl halfway decent, a lot of people will just be like, "Hey, you want to bowl again?"
Yeah,
and they'll grab their same partner, or they'll be like, "Hey, Joey, I haven't seen you. You want to bowl?" And boom, they bowl together, and then I got like 10 walk-ins this week, and it just made it a cluster because I was trying to get everybody started on time. And that's why it's been a little bit of a cluster, because I'm trying to get everybody started a little bit earlier this year, trying to make sure everything is at least closer to on time because of the leagues and everything. It's been a wild ride. We had 250 teams last year, and we're probably going to I think we're going to get to 300. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so regardless, you're on pace for a good year, a better year than last year. So that's good.
And we'll see what happens.
So last week, USBC popped up their, I think it was last week, popped up their practice schedule and Bowler's Journal schedule for the 2024 Open Championships tournament. We are traveling, or bowling, I should say, on a Sunday, Monday. So get the email, head right up to the website, go to the scheduling page, and turns out Saturdays.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
I don't think we did. Did we? No, I didn't think so. Saturdays are completely blacked out for the entire tournament. So no practice sessions, no Bowler's Journal.
You'd have to go there early and bowl Friday, huh?
Right. So, or
I'm going to be traveling Friday.
Right. So a lot of guys are traveling Friday, which I've already booked my flight for.
Welcome to town country.
Or the thing that we've been talking about is practicing on Sunday morning before teams. But what the point of bringing this up is, well,
tell me what's the point, Kyle? Because you're just.
Will you settle down in your chair?
I just don't know.
Point being, not only, well, there's 2 points really. One is, how can you block out practice for for all Saturdays throughout the entire tournament after everybody's already booked their dates, or the majority of your players? Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, it brings up the point again of hiding the oil patterns. This is the video I made this week. My opinion changing. My opinion before was, I agree, hide the oil patterns, keep the integrity. Everybody should be kind of blind to the pattern. But over time, and especially now, I think it does make more sense that at least get a length and volume, if not the pattern as a whole, so that bowlers can prepare themselves and travel with their equipment, with the right equipment, to get to the tournament and be at least a little prepared. Especially now that there's
What more do you need? Just
possibly
frickin' grab
no
a purple
practice.
hammer.
Oh, okay.
I don't get
Okay,
what's so hard
Lefty.
about this game.
I will say, however, that the years that we
Did you already
have
put this comment up? Because I'm going to do it right now.
Deeks now.
Yeah.
The
Thanks,
in
Deke,
the
I
past
agree.
years that we've had the practice sessions, there's very few that actually seem like they go out there and practice.
So that was part of my comment too during my video. Was now does the practice session being blacked out on every Saturday really impact a lot of teams? No, not really, because I think my guess on percentage is probably like less than 5% of teams. It's a total guess. No real confirmation on that. But my total guess is probably less than 5% of teams actually practice on site there.
Okay.
So does it impact a lot of players out there? No. But that gives us an opportunity to see how long the pattern is. Maybe not really see the volume because the friction between the two
Different
centers
center,
is
you'll never tell.
totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But we can at least understand what the length is. And
Why?
Again-
What if one plays earlier than the other? If there's earlier friction in the front, you're not going to know how long the pattern is. There's always going to be early friction.
you can throw plastic down the middle, see where the ball flips over. You can throw something down the middle, see where the ball flips
I'm
over.
just saying, if there's still scratches in the lane, there's more friction there, then it's still going to hook earlier.
Understood.
Mhm.
But we can understand or see where the length of the pattern is.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm writing it all
you,
down.
you
Next
know
one.
that, right? You know, you get that.
Dude, I just grabbed a purple
I will
hammer.
say, in every year that I've bowled on the practice pair, it was not even close.
I would have to say it was close. Like last year, for example.
Wasn't close.
Okay,
I had probably
Which
10
is
more
fine.
boards of hook.
Yes, agreed. But all I did was ball change and played in the same exact spot.
I surfaced my urethane ball. Wrong move.
So
Could've
like,
just went out without
I
it.
couldn't play in the same
so
spot.
all I did was I balled down and I literally played in the same exact spot as I did downstairs in the practice center.
Okay. Any more points?
So I was just saying, getting to my point of my video this week was that it was just another reason why they should release either the pattern or at least a length and volume so that the tournament players can be better prepared and go out there with at least a game plan with the equipment in mind. And part of that was also the Masters too. I didn't say that in the video, but at least in the Masters, they threw that pattern out at us. But anyway, go ahead. It seems like you're prepared for this.
I watched your
For this
video last
argument.
night. I watched your video.
Gee, thanks, pal.
So I just think they should still keep it the way it is.
Why is that?
I
Because
mean,
you use one ball. You use the purple hammer and you throw it in the same spot every time.
because
Okay,
you're
I
just
get
jealous. You're just jealous.
So I'm someone that doesn't only use a purple hammer. I actually
Listen,
try to stay out of urethane, and my arsenal is usually built well enough to succeed on most patterns.
so my few. So wait, what was your first point, Kyle? What was your first on your video? No, because I want to
that.
hear your points
you
in
want?
order.
All right. Do you want me to go over the points in the video? All right.
I just want go to your first point
all right. My first point was
because I
lane.
watched it and I just want to.
Yeah. My first point in the video was lane surfaces.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
I
So
understand
lane
that. I
surfaces
can-
across the country are all different.
I can agree with that. That's fine. Go ahead. Keep going.
So if you gave out the pattern
It's gonna
and you
play different
practice on it,
regardless.
it's irrelevant
Yeah. And
because
different oil,
because if you practice
different
here,
cleaner.
it's not going to be the same as South Point.
Right.
And if you practice on some house in whatever city, it's not going to be
Right.
the same as South Point.
Completely agree.
Oils, I didn't even bring up oils. I
I
just
know,
said
you're
lane
welcome.
surface. But yeah,
You're welcome.
regardless, that was point number one. Do you want to attack that first, or
No, I agree with you. I think that the lane surface being different, fine. So be it. It's going to play different. You can put out one shot here and go to somewhere else. It doesn't play the same. It doesn't mean the shot is played wrong. It just means that's how the shot played at that particular center. I don't like when people say the pattern didn't play like it should have.
Right.
Because it's a completely irrelevant. The pattern played like it should have. It's just in a different center. So
Yeah.
it just played differently than you expected.
Yeah.
What was your second
point number two was not necessarily a point about the tournament or anything else. Was that they released the patterns for the U.S. Open because of the change in tournament directors.
Yes.
So this we can't prove until the U.S. Open is over. but I
the scores are going to correlate.
Right. So I
But why did they change? Why did they show the pattern?
because
who's the tournament director for the USBC
The tournament
Open?
director was Rob Gottschall.
Yeah, but
he got hired at
Froese?
Storm.
Right. Who is the OC's tournament director?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I have to look. But
okay. Well, we need to find that out because that's a big part of the problem.
The reason why it was released though was just to put them out in the open and not have a perception of
somebody has an advantage over somebody else because he knew before he left.
Correct.
But that was because he changed jobs.
Right.
So that I can understand.
That was the only reason that they were released.
That way everybody had an opportunity, so there was nobody
there. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because let's say the scoring pace remains exactly the same, or at least even close within pins, from last year to this year, because they're using last year's lane patterns.
It's very similar, right?
No, they're exactly the same. They're just they flip flop some days. So like day one might be day 4's pattern from last year, and day 2 might be day 3, something like that. But they are exactly the same pattern.
Okay.
This year's tournament director is Gary Brown.
Who was the tournament director last year?
Wait, are you talking about OCs or US Open?
OCs.
OCs.
Are you, okay, so
who was last year?
I'm looking up last year.
Okay, he's gonna look up last year's.
Point being is, let's say the 2024's scores resemble 2023's at least somewhat, then we're talking about the most upper echelon players practicing for months on the same exact patterns at their home centers and not able to then increase the scoring pace.
Yeah, I can understand. Then you're not going to think that.
Why would amateurs be able to increase the scoring pace at the Open Championships by practicing on the pattern at their home centers?
I just don't think that's a correlation. The only reason that the patterns were released is because Gotcha left, and either they were designing new patterns, and then when he left, it kind of got squashed. So they were like, okay, let's just go back to last year's and we'll release it so nobody thinks that he's going to have an upper edge for Storm over Brunswick or Motive. But in this case, 5-3-5. Holy crap, that's so loud. I just don't think that's I don't think they made new patterns, but they had to release them because he left. So because he left, that's why you saw the patterns. I think there would have been some different ones if there wasn't any leaving.
I understand that. What I'm saying is I am not talking at all about that.
You're just talking about the statistics in general.
Exactly. The scores from year to year, year over year, I think if they stay the same and they're the most expert players, then you should be able to say to the Open Championships, okay, those are the expert players who can also bowl in the OCs. But
it's a completely different atmosphere too, because in the US Open, it's just like Mark Baker said. It's not my job to make you bowl good. But when you guys go out, the righties and me and Matt, it's not a free for all. It's all for one for all mentality. So it's completely different.
Saying,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of, you talk about the lanes are different and there's going to be different friction levels at different places with different oils and different this. If you put the pattern out there, because the track is always going to show up no matter how old the lane surface is eventually, because that's where most players play. I feel as if you're going to be able to break down that pattern. You're going to learn how to break down that pattern even further. The U.S. Open's a completely different atmosphere. Bill O'Neill is not working to break the pattern down for Jason Belmonte.
Right. Fair enough.
So I think that it's two different levels of competition.
Sure.
Right. So like you singles versus teams. So like when Matt and I go out there and I throw a purple hammer, Deke asks, how does the pattern play different if you stand in the same spot of the purple? Deke, it doesn't, man. That's why I'm good, baby. It hooks at 20 feet and just hits the head pin. Bingo, bango. I look at 3. I don't know where I'm standing. I just look at 3. I swear to God.
I hate this kid.
Because it's true. Kyle saw a video of me, and I'm like, man, I think I'm hitting 10. He's like, or I'm looking at 3. He's like, you're hitting like 15. And I was like, oh, all right. I think that the two different events make it completely different.
Sure.
So the U.S. Open, you're not working to break it down for somebody. It's one for me, or one for all. That's myself. I'm bowling for myself.
Yeah.
While when I'm bowling with my 10 guys here, me and Matt,
we're all trying to.
it is.
The rest of us are trying to break the lane down.
Matt and I have already been talking about a little bit of lane play. Not crazy. Like he told me to throw urethane last night. I was like, dude, I didn't even bring urethane. I didn't even practice last night.
Right.
But
He's so good, guys. He doesn't need practice.
that's what I wrote. I can play anywhere, baby. I'm good. I'm like a water in a cup. I always conform to what you put me in. You know what I mean? But no, the righties, it's a all for one for all thing. So you're gonna wear the pattern down, and I think that is what the difference is. Because if you give the doubles and singles pattern out, and you give the team pattern out, and you get a guy like Mark Taylor to come in here who knows the lane surface, they're almost always using fire. So okay, we can put fire out because I think fire transitions similarly on lane surface. I wouldn't have ever thought about that if it's more of a friction surface. If it actually dissipates as fast if it's on a slicker surface, it might act different because of the lane beds and how old they are. But you can still kind of see how the pattern will break down a little bit, and then you just adjust for, hey, when we go there, guys, we've been there for 3 years now because it's at South Point so often. The lane beds are kind of known on how they kind of play. We know how they play versus here, which they're typically pretty close.
From here to
us,
there, they're almost dead on.
They're very close for us. So, okay, I'm not saying it gives us an advantage, but now we start to wear it in, and I'm not saying it makes us go up 20, 30, 40 spots, but at the end of the day, if you can get the right ball motion and figure out how to break it down right, you're going to score that much better. Now, obviously, all the good guys can do this, but some people make teams from all over the country, so it's different. So I think that hiding the pattern keeps the integrity in it. I think breaking the lane down kind of takes some of the pattern guessing out of it, though, because it's almost irrelevant. Because if you keep doing the same thing year after year after year after year, you don't need to drill 70 million bowling balls because the right side gets burnt up and there's a hold spot there. You just got to figure out how.
But you are talking about team event until you hit the doubles and singles pattern that they put out last year, which was
but that's
extremely painful.
Right. And I think we've talked about that. And I said to Matt in our group chat, I played in last year, which I typically, unless I'm throwing urethane out there, I don't think I've ever been left of 15 with my feet. I'm always playing like third arrow. I'm always playing that second hash down lane. I'm always hooking the crap out of it just because that's just how it ends up being for me, which I did this year as well.
Yeah.
And both pretty good doing it. But I don't know. I think doubles and singles, because last year was an anomaly. I think they made I think they made an extremely poor choice in how the lanes were,
especially on that surface.
Whatever. That's my opinion on it. Whatever. I bowled pretty good on it, but on the left, hopefully we see something a little bit better. But the other thing too we were talking about is next year they're changing. So you're probably going to see something close to last year, if not the year before. And then next year you're going to see doubles and singles change. We'll probably see teams change this year because we're going somewhere else next year. They won't double up. They'll probably do one of them this year and then do the other one next year.
And in Baton Rouge, are they going to
build? They'd have to build
a new building, which means brand new lane surface. So
who knows that? And that was like Syracuse. So that's going to be slick. That's my heaven, baby. 40 grit.
I also love that.
Yeah, that was good.
I did not.
So I don't know. I think it's just completely separate things. I think if you see a normal pattern from doubles and singles here, I'm sorry, Kyle. Once again, it goes on to, hey guys, all for one for all deal again, and get freaking right on the gutter and burn it out again. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not disagreeing
with that, but I think with the doubles and singles that we saw, and again, coupled with
last year was an anomaly.
Maybe, but what have they been doing?
Better bring a mix.
What have they been doing with the patterns lately between the Masters and doubles and singles, and then
but Masters was 46 feet with no oil wide, or if there was, I don't think there was, out wide of 2. The Reno one was a 40 mic pump or 45 mic pump with like 23 mils. It was, I don't know what they were thinking. That just seems like a little bit of a weird kind of thing, especially for 6 games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if like they put the wrong microliter in there or what. Like, it doesn't make sense. Regardless, I'm not really a pattern builder, but just as a bowler looking at it and using a lot of patterns, that usually everything's pretty all right here. I don't have anything where it's like, oh, that was really bad. Everything's usually pretty good. I just don't understand the thought process, but the OCs is just not the same event. I'm sorry. It's not the same event as the singles. Everything is more one for all for one. And if you can't bring out 10 guys or people that are willing to work on it, that is your fault. Okay. That is the person managing the teams. That's their problem. If you're out there for a good time, go and have a good time. I think the better players are going to go with the better players. They're going to bring 30 really good guys or 20 good guys or whatever it is, and they're going to make companion teams that are going to try and do it. Singles is singles. So why
I agree with you on breaking the lanes down. I agree with you on bringing a good team. I think
Why
give us the
show
length
people?
and volume, and that way you can at least
It's irrelevant.
at least be a little bit prepared on what 6 balls to bring.
Okay, that's easy too.
All right.
You always bring a spare ball, number 1.
Okay.
It's not that hard.
All right,
It's
but
not
what if-
rocket science.
But what if all of the patterns happen to be less than 25 mils? Maybe you're not going to bring that giant ace-in ball. You can add in another weaker ball.
Sometimes ace-in balls are good on that because they pick up and roll forward because on the volume. You can
Maybe
control
not
the
for-
back end.
Maybe not for certain bowlers.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I
Maybe
mean,
for some people like
okay,
me,
you play
they hit
golf.
the lane and they go left.
okay, you play golf and you don't play good in a dogleg left because your ball goes right. I don't know, hit a different club. You still
That's
got
wildly different.
You've got to
That's
make
a wildly
you've
different
got to make
environment.
I'm sort of on Anthony's side of this because
It doesn't make any sense.
If you don't,
I don't
have,
really care.
If you don't have 5 or 6 balls that round out
an arsenal. Yeah.
an arsenal, then that's not on.
Then
I
what are
mean,
you
I don't-
doing?
I don't
It's
think
not
it
on the
matters
USBC.
if you know the pattern.
Everything's on the USBC.
I mean, I could also make a point for showing the pattern because we travel so far. So I can listen.
We're
I
always the
understand-
ones traveling.
I understand your point. I do. But
Because some of these guys get to drive there and have 10 balls in their trunk.
Sure, I get that too. But do you really think they bring 10 in the trunk? Like if we went to Syracuse
Yeah, we
tomorrow,
talked to a guy that literally drives all of the bowling balls for the group.
Yeah, but they're driving bowling balls for the group like 20 people. They're bringing 2 bags for
Yeah, they
everybody.
bring a U-Haul, but they can bring
I'm
as
not-
many as they want. That's my
Yeah, but-
point.
But are you really gonna go in there and be like, oh yeah, that one looks good, dude? Just watch the video of the guys who are scoring. Like
Yeah,
it's
I get
it's
that. We do that all
extremely-
the time. I'm just
right. When we look at South Point and we look at the freaking videos, South Point is known for what? Shiny balls are good. Strata hybrid. Shout out to Joe DeVellis. Shiny balls are good. My magnitude 035 was good out there. The past few times I've thrown urethane, whatever. But like, it seems like balls that are a little shinier that aren't super wicked back endy down
Right.
lane are always going to be pretty good. The tendency is there. Now, if you're going for your first year, you should do your research. Absolutely. And I understand where people think it can be a waste of money. But like, if this is your second or third year, if you're not learning or trying to learn, and the patterns are fairly close every year. I mean, if you're not learning how to read the ball motion or to kind of put together an arsenal, or your PSO is not helping you, you got to go do something that's going to influence your game to be better.
maybe I just need to find a new pro shop guy.
That's fine. That's what I mean. I mean, you have been getting better out there, right? And we are doing different stuff, which is fine. But at the same time, I don't understand. It's the pattern's fault, which is why nobody bowls.
Nobody said
And I
that.
also
Oh, okay.
think if
Sorry,
you
Kyle.
were to
Sorry, honey.
if you were to release
touch
the
him.
patterns, all right, what happens if you think it's going to play one way, so you bring 5 balls that do a certain
Yeah,
thing?
it doesn't
and all
make a
of sudden
difference.
It doesn't play that way.
It doesn't make a difference.
You just wasted five slots
I'm-
in your arsenal
I'm gonna
instead
need
of
a-
having a well-rounded arsenal.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need this and this and this because they're gonna break down. Boom. Oh, they don't play. They're not playing like they did. They're not playing like they're supposed to. So why no? Why give the bowlers an excuse? Oh, we didn't guess right this year. Okay, I mean, you know what's been doing good the past few years.
Okay, but then
what about the people
then
who
how
whacked
do you
them out there?
So then why do you give out the pattern for all of your tournaments?
Why? I think it's a little bit different because I just personally think that giving them out for my events is better because they're local events. A lot of times I'm trying to draw
Local events. Everybody lives
everybody-
right here. They can carry their whole garage with them if they wanted to.
Some people do.
So that's my point. Is it takes us airplanes to get to OCs almost every year, and we have to pick the 6 that we want to bring.
Yeah,
we were allowed
but-
8, but
Like I said, it's a local event. Like
So-
you can drive there and bring 20. When
Right.
I go to OCs,
that's my point. So why bother showing the pattern at all?
why?
Because you can bring
Because
20.
people want to see the pattern, but people at OCs know you're not going to see the pattern.
I think a lot of that has
People
to
want to see.
notoriety too.
I can tell you that
Exactly.
a
Yes, I
large
was gonna say
amount
that
of
too.
people that bowl in the tournament want to see the pattern.
Really? Because they haven't changed yet, so there must not be enough. Right? Because it's done by the members. So clearly they're not voting
No,
to see
it's
the pattern.
done by the
You have to vote on it.
association.
Maybe you still have to vote on it.
No,
Right?
the membership doesn't
have
vote
a
on
survey.
making that rule.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
it's
a survey.
but they can still decide what rules they want to put in.
The people who complain about the patterns just don't have a purple hammer.
Nobody's complaining about the pattern. Well,
Everybody complains
except for the
about
doubles pattern. The doubles pattern was
The
ridiculous.
double, I can agree with you. The doubles
Yeah.
pattern, it isn't playable. I
Yeah,
don't
but
mind
I
if you
gotta
I
don't.
am
honest,
just saying to pick your bowling balls. Like if I knew that I don't know. Doubles was one way. Like I would need it.
You knew they hooked though. Everybody knew they hooked because we watched the video. The only people who are at a disadvantage are the people who don't show up or who go early. Don't show up. Who go early. People who go early
Right.
have a
They're the guinea
super big
pigs. Disadvantage. Yeah.
huge disadvantage,
Yeah.
which is why going in June for us, well, it's better for a lot of us as
Yeah.
well. But
Or July
It's-
or whatever. Anybody that's there after the first month or two.
yeah, because you see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I it doesn't matter to me because either way we go. You still
Either
go.
way, you're throwing Purple Hammer. We get it. All right.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll throw Defender this year. You do know that I bring like the same balls every year, right?
I know, and you don't ever use them. So
I also
Works.
have had like the same arsenal.
you might
past 3
actually have to
years.
bring the Black 78. So
Why?
I don't know. You're probably bring it.
This is
I was thinking about bringing a purple hammer, a blue hammer, a black hammer, and then like a spare ball, and just that's it. I mean, I don't really throw anything
I
else.
might get one of them black hammers.
Kyle, Bones doesn't like high scores in a tournament. He feels like not showing that helps. What do you think?
I think that no matter what, the like I said before, the tournament is still going to be hard unless they make it easy, like they have done in the
Well,
past. But
I guess, yeah. But what about the guys who do score good? So what do you say to the guys who do score good then? Like they guess, like I saw somebody write, "Oh, you guessed right."
oh no, those are the guys that score good are the ones that break the pattern down and they know what they're doing.
So then why
Like
is
100%
why is
of the
pattern
time.
relevant? Why don't people just learn from that? Why
I
don't?
was-
So now here's the thing.
They're
now
also
you're gonna
the ones
hold
that
on.
are really good.
Now you're gonna show people a pattern. That's like just putting them on a house pattern. They're
I
not gonna
did-
try to get any better. You're welcome.
I was gonna bring
You're-
that up, Kyle.
Now they're not gonna get any
good
better.
Bowlers are gonna break down the hook spot anyways and just throw at it.
You're gonna show it to the people who don't know what they're gonna be able to do with it. I mean, granted, you could show the pattern. I could probably help a lot of other
There's
people
definitely-
out. Like I don't disagree with you,
There's definitely pros of showing it,
right?
for sure.
But for me, I like it when it's not shown right now because I feel as if you got to learn your ball motion and you got to, well, for me, I mean, Purple Hammer's ball motion is pretty easy. It hooks early, but like for you guys, you guys are wearing it in and we've gotten better. I mean, we haven't gone up in the standings, but we really haven't, like we've been
That's
way
since our
better.
95th, yeah.
We are light years better than what we used to be, but
Mhm.
it also made us be better bowlers. So now you're saying we're going to show the patterns and you can try to learn how to play the pattern instead of
No,
becoming a better
we've
bowler.
gotten better since we started practicing on the patterns.
Yeah, we practice on the old ones.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't make a difference because as bowlers as a whole, we're all doing better.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not like we're not progressing as players. But if you just have people bowling the pattern for the whole 4 months, they're going to go out and bowl. And they're like, I'll come back in 4 months and try to play that one. They're only learning the pattern. They're not becoming a better bowler. They're just bowling on that one pattern or the two patterns that are probably going to be close.
Yeah.
So are you really, I guess, I don't think they look at it this way, but are you enhancing the bowler's game by not showing it because they have to be more versatile? Or if you just show it, they can just be like, yeah, well, if I can learn how to throw up the second arrow on this one with I'll buy this ball, and now I
Right.
can throw up the second arrow.
Well, yeah, but then, like I said in the video, they're gonna get to South Point or Reno or Baton Rouge or whatever, and they're gonna find that it's
it'll be different.
light years different.
It'll be different. Yeah, of course it'll be
And then
different.
It's not gonna work at all how they wanted.
Well, maybe it will. Who knows? What if it does work? What if they learn how to play it? Well, especially South Point, because South Point is a place we go to multiple times a year or multiple years.
Multiple times in 10 years.
Right. So once you get the lane, like
Yeah, I'm
once you
saying.
get the lane surface down, you can just kind of keep up on
Yeah,
it.
I'm saying when you practice elsewhere, then you get
Yeah.
there and it's gonna be different.
Yeah, but here it's always pretty close. We just
Yes.
said that. So now you're going to give my
I
guys an advantage. Oh, well, what do you think I should drill, Anthony? Drill that one.
Yeah.
That'll give you good for 4 games. And then watch, he goes out there and whacks them. But then he goes to another pattern and he can't do crap because he plays.
So
with the
another
second
reason why
arrow.
they should show the patterns would be good for the pro shop operators. Start drilling bowling balls.
What do you mean? When you got to guess, you drill a lot more than when you know what you need. Come on now.
No, because then they throw it, doesn't work. Drill me another one. Throw it, doesn't work. Drill me another one.
I don't
All
know.
right, we got to move on. All right.
We could
You
talk
sure?
about this for another. Wow, we're already at 7:45.
We want to push
Exactly.
Want to push the U.S.
All right,
Open
before
talk
we
to next
before we
week?
go on, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Hit the Etsy shop, and you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com and check out the social pages. And what else?
Jack
Oh,
Papal.
you can always
What up, Jack?
listen on your favorite podcast service if you can't watch on YouTube. All right,
Gotta embrace the grind, he said.
dude, that's all I do is grind. All right,
Grinder.
so let's see. U.S. Open starts on the 27th. We got some guys we know in the PTQ.
Quite a few.
Yeah. Our buddy, not Ed Sheeran, will be there.
Not Ed Sheeran will be there.
The mop top,
Mop boy, Moppy,
Andrew Hall.
Mopster.
Your buddy Pete Fox will be there.
Peter's a good guy. I like Peter. He's a really smart guy, really into it. Hopefully he does well. I'd like to see him in the US Open.
Nobody puts purple in the corner.
Nobody
puts purple in timeout.
Purple in timeout. He had purple in timeout. I mean, hey, good for him. I'm trying to think. Do I still have it up?
What's that?
I had the PTQ roster up to
yeah.
see all my friends.
Yeah.
Like those. Oh, I know Greg Tack. So he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I like Greg Tack. I bowled Sam DeWitt. That's the guy beating the semifinals at the Mega Buck. He's a nice guy. I don't know. Eric Jones, remember?
At the Masters.
Yeah, lefty two-hander who throws purple hammer.
So they're taking 20 from the PTQ, which is a big number.
Big number. They have 110 entries.
I'm just saying, it's a lot of people. Do you think that makes them feel comfortable, or do you think that they're still nervous to bowl or still nervous to make it in to the next round?
Dude, it's only 20 out of 100.
Oh, 110 entries for the PTQ, you mean?
Yeah.
I know, it's still a big chunk, I think. Usually when they're bowling the PTQ squads, they're getting like less than 10 on the PBA.
I guess I can understand that because the field is already bigger because they have the extra people in. I think 20, what's 21? It's almost like 1 in 6 for them, right?
Yeah.
Roughly, because 1 in 5 would be 100.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 in 6 roughly.
Right.
That's not bad. I wonder if they get kind of the same rules where they make it, they get some money back. And then they got to pay like the small difference.
1 in 6.5.
1 in 6.5. 1 in 6.5 is but for those guys that are out there doing the grind, so hopefully they bowl well. I don't know the format of the PTQ. I didn't take a look at it.
8 games.
It's just
1
8 straight
8-game
games.
block.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting. You'll definitely see some transition. There's a lot of good names on there. A lot of guys trying to get into this U.S. Open field. I don't know. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Austin?
I was just looking at the skips because they have all the skips on there, and I read it wrong. I thought the last game they were making them move 7 pairs. I was like, dang, you're going to make them bowl 7 games and then move 7? But I reread it, and it's just skip 2 pairs.
Sam Anderson is also bowling. He is Sam Anderson from Bowl U.
Yep.
Or I don't know if he's from Bowl U.
Well, he definitely is.
He's like associated or whatever. He's big into it.
So onto the main roster here. Chris and Ryan bowling on the same squad.
Who?
Well,
Chris Barnes, Ryan.
Oh.
Bowling on the same squad.
No, we noticed that at the Masters too. Is the Bone family was bowling together? The Barnes family was bowling together.
I don't know if the Bones were. I think Parker and the righty were bowling together, right? They were on the same pair. They crossed.
Yeah.
Justin and Brandon are on different squads this time.
Oh, that's good. That's
I'm
cool.
just saying at the Masters there was a lot of
it's interesting because
family it's crossing.
The random really isn't random.
No.
B squad looks absolutely B squad is stacked.
So I wonder how much squad and equity we're gonna have.
B squad is absolutely stacked.
Cody Shoemaker's in.
He better be. Kid matches it.
Is that that's the roster. So I wonder why he's in. Is he a top 75
Who
pro?
is AJ Wolstenholme?
AJ Wolstenholme from Trevose, PA.
All right,
That's a heck of a name.
So let's chat real quick before we got about 10 minutes here to go. So let's chat real quick about who we think our top finishers are going to be. I mean, obviously, we always kind of tend to see a difference between the top PBA finishers and the top USBC finishers. Although EJ Tackett and Simonson seem to be top regardless.
They're doing pretty well in both events.
And I shouldn't say reason being, but
they're just really good.
Not for those two, I'm sorry. But it seems like why there's a split is possibly because of the lane patterns and also lane machine application.
Yeah, they go to Kegel for the USBC stuff, right?
Yep.
And then the Brunswick for the PBA.
Yeah.
So we've got reverse and forward oil on the Kegel and only forward on the Brunswick.
Right.
So that's definitely that changes how the lanes break down. Right.
Hot take.
Pete
Weber in the top 24.
Jeez, you're always right too. So I can't even say no.
You're too afraid. But yeah, so EJ and Simo seem to always have some success in this tournament. Well, not seem to, they do, plain and simple. Am I remembering right? Thomas Larson, does he kind of always succeed in the USBC events?
He did win a Masters, I believe.
Yes,
It's
I
one of the
believe
Larson
so.
boys won.
Same with Frankie.
Yes, French fry. He always
Yeah.
does pretty well on this as well.
Deke said he's got Packy, Prather, Belmo, Simo, and EJ.
It's a pretty
That
good.
is stacked.
That's a pretty good.
It's a
That's
good
a pretty
lineup.
good. I like the. I don't see Prather there because we haven't seen much of him.
Is he still injured-ish or something?
I don't
Or
know. We just haven't seen a lot
No,
of
I don't
him.
think so.
He did make Team USA
He
though.
bowled very
Saw
well
that.
in the Team USA trials.
Yeah.
I believe.
I don't know if I can agree with that one just because we haven't seen him yet.
and you have
You know,
Darren.
He was hurt though.
And we have Darren
Darren won
on winning the Team USA trials.
Yep.
So that's something to look out for as well.
He is better now. Deke is confirming he is better.
I'd look out for Spencer Robarge too. He seems to do well in the USBC
Yes, he does.
tournaments.
He's been doing better all the way around as well.
I mean, my front runner is going to be a name that people are going to be like, "Wow,
Oh boy.
incredible." Parker Bone
All right.
is
Go on.
I thought we were gonna hear Matt Ogle because of his fishing boat.
Yeah.
but
no. I was picking Parker because he lefty, but apparently he had to withdraw because they knew he was going to win. Not even in the field this year. Sorry, Parker. We know you would have won because you're left-handed, so we'll give it to you. Actually, I was going to pick this is going to be a sleeper pick. I got a good feeling about Patrick Dombrowski.
All right.
Are you going to say that?
No.
He just won the RPI, coming off a pretty
Again, by the way.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. He's coming off a good year.
He's so good. I don't know why he
I don't
doesn't
know.
bowl more.
I just don't think he's a full timer.
He's not.
And I just got a feeling that he's just gonna bowl well.
Made TV.
He throws it fantastic.
He's so good.
I think he's feeling it right now. I talked to him last week on Zoom, and we were, not really, but I just feel like he's gonna do well. I got a good feeling about him, like kind of like how I was like Jake Peters. That got a really good game. I just feel like he's gonna make it happen this year. I just feel like he's gonna have a breakthrough year.
So
I want to feel. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say I want to feel the same way about Andrew Anderson because I feel like he also does well in USBC tournaments, and he's also got a really good game. But for he's got some sort of block going on. I don't know if it's mental or physical, but something is not getting him past ahead. You know what I mean? So
he's had some pretty rough showings on TV too. Not really rough, but just outbowled.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's usually pretty good.
I think rookie of the year has a
Schneck,
shot.
Cortez Schneck.
I mean, he is throwing the ball great right now.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good all the way around. I think there's a few guys up here. I don't even. Can you pick five, Kyle? Can you pick five right off your head? Right off the top.
I was
of your
trying to think of that today, and well, I mean, obviously, I'm going to go with the top two right away, and we're going to, which is EJ and Simo.
Yep.
And you know who else does really good? And I hate to even say it just because it's an obvious pick, but you got to throw Belmo in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Billy, top four, and because I mean he's bowling really well. He does well in USBC events.
I think one of the ones that no one has mentioned yet, Chris Fye.
Yeah, he did have
everybody
a top
has a
five.
chance.
He's pretty quiet. I do have about three players that I do like. I like.
All right, hang on. I got four. That was four, right?
Yeah, that was four.
All right, so I'll give you my fifth, and this one's just a needle.
Throw it out there.
This one's just a needle into Anthony's brain. Ryan Barnes coming off that last tournament.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Fine, Kyle. To make you feel better.
Go ahead with your picks. I didn't know we were picking, but I just
Yeah, if we're picking, I got to do some more thinking here.
That was not in order in any order. Those were
just top five guys you think that are going to bowl well.
Hot picks.
Your hot take.
Yeah.
Hello, Town
Top
Country Lanes.
top
How can I
five
help you?
horses.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Jack.
Jack Papow. Ryan Barnes is winning it all.
He's allowed to bowl in this though, so I can't be mad at him. I think it's definitely a very tough pick.
Going with the Rochester pick.
Sterner, that's a good pick. I do like Bill O'Neill after winning the other week. I think that he's a little bit back. Steely Bone says Darren seems like he's revamped his approach, and he wouldn't be surprised if he did well. Yeah, he seems. Yeah, I'm just. I don't know. I just don't think he's got. I don't think he's got the kill factor.
You
in
got
there.
your top 5?
If you want to go ahead.
All right.
I just don't think he's got the kill factor, Bones. He doesn't have that in the eye.
So, number 1, not in any particular order, but Sam Cooley.
I was looking at him.
All right. Jake Butters. We haven't seen him in a while.
I know we
think it's
haven't, and
about
I was thinking the
time
same
that he
thing.
I
pops
just don't.
out.
Is he ready yet? After
I don't know.
After he
Kyle,
was, I guess,
I don't know.
hurt. I don't know.
Purple Hammer.
Yeah, but it's
let's
USBC.
see.
They hate the freaking urethane.
3. I think I gotta throw Packy in there. He seems like he's just on a tear so far.
He has been bowling well. He did make Team USA.
Let's see. Number 4. You got to throw EJ in there.
No, of
He'll
course.
be up there. And I think 5, I'm going to go with Chris Vi. I think he'll be in the top 5, no doubt.
Okay. I like
Bingo.
that. So many people.
Yeah, 100 to be exact.
Yeah, I think my first pick is gonna be Bill O'Neill just because he's winning, he's riding high, friend of the show, good guy,
Number 1 guest.
number 1
Crossed
in
with
our
him.
hearts. Besides me every week, Bill, remember that. I'm always a guest on the show. I think he's gonna bowl well. Just coming off of last week, big win. I think his equipment's probably looking good. He's not doing that 14 switch. I think we're gonna see a bounce back year for him. I had another guy in here. Let me just take a look at my notes here. Matt Ogle because his fishing boat. No, I'm just kidding. I think we're going to see Tommy Jones bowl well here. Yeah, Kyle has used the purple hammer, Dan. It's worked once or twice.
No.
Have you seen Kyle throw the purple
She
hammer?
wants to know if I've used it to solve all my problems.
No, he has.
I've used it to make money.
Yeah.
Some money.
I've got Billy O there. I've got Tommy Jones there too. I don't know. I just got a feeling Tommy Jones is
Oof.
going to have a good year.
There you go.
He can really twist on it. I was going to pick a two-hander, and I completely forgot the guy's name. Gosh darn it. This is so hard because I can't read. Oh, I was going to pick Simo.
Simo?
I feel like he's going to have a bounce back. He had top tens.
He's got that
He's-
Rolling Stones article.
That was a heck of an article,
I
by
didn't
the way.
read it.
I did. Have you read it?
Do you want me to repeat myself
Wow,
or
Kyle didn't read
Did you
something?
read it?
I did read it.
That was, dude.
Yeah, dude,
what
it
a
was
story.
front and center for like 2 days.
Yeah, I
Dude,
know, I
it
didn't
was
read
it was a heck of a story. Like I had no idea like that's how it happened.
You
Like,
should probably read it.
it was, dude.
I clicked the link today and I was like,
He was too busy making the
doing all the podcast,
podcast
stuff.
episode.
Yeah,
tonight.
So I got Billy O. Who did I say next?
Billy O,
Tommy Jones.
Simo, TJ.
Yeah, so far. Let me see here.
Did you have a fourth one?
No, I didn't have a fourth one yet. I was just taking a look. I got
so far nothing but veterans.
I think the veterans do better in these events. I don't really think the young bucks are gonna really pull it through. I think there's gonna be a little bit of transition from people.
Steely Bones, no
Um,
specific order. Top 5: Simo, Packy.
Everybody's
Thelmo,
liking the
Vi,
Packy pick.
Troop.
I'm not with the Packy pick. I'm not with the Pack. You know he's left-handed. I was thinking him because he's lefty, but I can't do it. I like the AJ Chapman pick here. Made Team USA. I feel like he's doing. I know
He's
that's,
got a little fire in his belly right
Yeah.
now too.
Was it Chapman that made it or Johnson?
Who did I say?
Oh,
You said Chapman.
I meant
AJ
Johnson.
Johnson's the one that made
Friend of the
USA.
show. Crap, I always do that.
never mind. He does
All
not. Okay, his
Johnson. AJ Johnson.
forget my comment then because
It's AJ
he's an
Johnson,
idiot.
motive guy. I feel like he just made Team USA too. Sorry, I get my words confused. I feel like he's gonna bowl pretty good. That's 4.
All right.
Yep, that's 4.
That's 4 for me. And I don't have any lefties, so it's really I don't even know. I need a lefty in there. I'm gonna go. I can't pick that guy. I can't.
Can we get some sound effects, Austin? We need some Jeopardy over here.
It's so hard to pick because there's no. I
We
mean,
need-
I think
we need some
Dombrowski's going to bowl
sponsors.
well. I think Dombrowski's going to bowl well, but I'm not going to say he's going to be my top 5 pick. I'm going to say, gosh darn it.
Jeremy says he wants to be picked. You got to
Yeah.
bowl, Jeremy. Bowler's
Yeah, you
bowl,
gotta-
buddy.
Bowler's bowl. I'm going to go with. Tommy Smallwood.
Whoa,
Wow, I thought you were picking a lefty.
I was gonna, but I saw his name there.
Detroit.
I just
No
got a
thumb.
feeling all those guys are vets, so I feel like with the other guys coming into play,
To be fair, he did just
he just
sit at the top of the mantle.
he moted him over, and I think
Did you
he's.
say he
got a-
motived him over?
I said he mowed him, but it might have came out as motive them over. So I got Billy O, TJ. Simo, and then the two motive boys, AJ and the
lot.
Beaver.
No EJ though.
Small one. I don't have EJ there. I think that I've got a little bit of a lower rev rate player there than EJ. I think that he's got that win, that PBA win over in Sweden. He's going to come back over. He just made Team USA. I think he's going to have a good event here. I think Smallwood's going to be pretty good. I think because Simo missed the last event, I think we're going to see a bounce back from him. Billy O is bowling well. And TJ, I just, his ball roll, man, he's got that, and he's got the big time in his hand now. He's probably just he's gonna saw on it, and man, he's gonna bowl great.
You hear it here first.
You heard it here first.
Now, I have
minutes.
a question.
Yeah.
Can we get a commitment from Town and Country Lanes, from Anthony, that we will hold a 2025 regional qualifier for the U.S. Open?
Don't I need 90 people?
It's a lot of bowlers. If it's a regional, we should really get people from New Jersey and
yeah, but you gotta have 90 players. I have 24 lanes.
Wow,
You do it at Boulevard.
Jack's got a lot of faith in me tonight.
Prediction: Austin shoots 300 tonight.
Nice.
300 for 3.
For 2 or 3, yeah.
Maybe
I can
get
get
Boulevard. All right.
I'm just saying. I think those are my 5. I actually gave you guys reasons, while these other 2 blabbers just said names. I could do that too if I wanted to. They don't have any facts. I'm spewing facts.
I've never provided facts and been right.
Yeah,
Nope.
I know. I don't get
Nope. We only provide misinformation. Isn't that right? Our sources are credible, but we keep
I'm scared.
their confidence. All right.
I'm scared.
When they ask us to not name them,
Confidentiality.
that's right. We
Like miscongeniality.
if they ask us not to use their name, we won't. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. We will see you all next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel, just like every week. If you can't watch on this YouTube or Facebook or X, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service. Let's see here.
Stonehands.
Yes.
He's new.
What's up,
Welcome.
Stonehands? Thank you very much.
Does
Let's
that
see.
mean his hands are made of stone?
I guess so. But it is time for us to go bowling. So thank
Make
you.
sure to check out Zelo.
Oh,
Use your
wow.
code.
Thank you.
We'll bowl for food.
No
Get
free
10%
shout outs,
off.
man.
Get it going, baby, because Kyle's new shirt
Woo.
is sick.
Hey, turn around, Kyle.
That's right. All right. So you guys got me all flustered now.
Don't forget to check out our latest
Oh yeah, all of our
vlog
new
video.
videos
Tonight we bowl.
Yes, hot off the presses.
And you can see Jam
Yeah, I
Bread.
was late.
Oh, gotta catch
I
that
can't
one out,
believe I
dude.
missed that.
Dude, I didn't even
Dude,
see it either.
I saw the Instagram post and I was like, there's no way. I was staring at that outro for like 10 minutes.
That was hilarious.
She was like, why did they do
Yeah,
that?
catch
Jam?
up-
Why did you do that?
Catch all of those videos, guys. Just go to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of good stuff up there. Let's see here. So thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Thank you to Austin Van Buren, the producer. Anthony, thanks for coming in tonight and joining us as usual. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam Bread.
We will see you all next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.
Stay in your lane.